Mac Jones. Mac Jones, who will not be making $300 million during the course of his NFL career, but could still do okay. He's in a better spot this year than last year because Bill OBrien is the offensive coordinator. No longer Matt Patricia and Joe Judge in the sandbox trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do with the offense. And it's not their fault. They never should have been given that assignment last year anyway. Now it's OBrien, and here's what Mac Jones had to say to Albert Breer of SI.com about OBrien. We're definitely on the same page. We're building that trust. That's one thing that's big between the quarterback and the coordinator, regardless of who it is. He has to trust you, and then you have to be able to trust him. He's super real. He's a straight-up guy. Not only as a coach, but as a person. I think the unit, most importantly, feels the same way as I do, in that we have a lot of trust in him to work things out throughout the season. I think trust, he said that over and over again. Trust, trust, trust. There wasn't trust last year with Matt Patricia. And it's not that Matt Patricia is an untrustworthy person. It's Matt Patricia didn't have the offensive acumen that a quarterback could trust.
That's right. That's right. It's not, you can't blame Joe Judge or Matt Patricia. They were thrown into a no-win situation, and they did their best. But that was tough on them. I mean, of course it was. Trust, you hear me say all the time, between the quarterback coach, the quarterback, the offensive coordinator, right? He wants to feel like that coordinator's in the fight with him, in the game with him to a degree. That's what a good OC does. He makes you feel like, hey, yeah, I'm on your side here. And when you do something wrong, hey, my name's Billy O, and I'm from the New England, Boston area anyways, and I tell you, hey, dumbass, what the hell were you doing there, right? Okay, let's get better at it. Billy O's got a great touch that way of being straightforward, in your face, can say what needs to be said, but again, you feel like, hey, he's saying this for a good reason. He wants me to be better. And I think that's what he's got. And then he's got answers on top of that. And he's got a coach that realistically knows what's realistic to ask of a quarterback too. That's what can happen too when you have an inexperienced OC. Why didn't you do this? And you want to be like, well, there was a guy in my face and this guy was here, and they can be sometimes hard-headed that way. Billy O's been doing this his whole life. He'll understand that the game's not perfect. Playing the position is not perfect. And he's given Mac Jones answers, I'm sure, within the offense that he didn't have last year. And that's where that trust is big.
Even with that, though.
Yeah.
The Patriots are a middle-of-the-pack team. They really are, especially in the AFC. I think we've done this before. I don't know whether it was you or whether it was Miles Simmons on a Friday, but the idea of let's look at where the Patriots fit among the other teams in the AFC. On paper, they're fourth in their division. Now, we know the game isn't played on paper or with paper, but they're still going into this season with a much different vibe than they had in the past. I've said before, they used to be the Globetrotters, and the other three teams in the division were the Washington Generals. They're the Generals this year, and the other three teams are the Globetrotters. So Bill Belichick can overcome that. Bill OBrien can overcome it, but they are middle of the pack at best in the AFC. And they are a team that I would look at when you consider the schedule this year. It's going to be very tough for them to even get to the playoffs. And I really wonder what that's going to mean moving forward if these Patriots don't get to the playoffs, even with a better offense, even with a better overall team than last year.
Yeah, I know.
May just be we're just talking about the Steelers. I mean, there's only going to be 7 teams out of the Bills, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Jaguars, the Titans, the Chiefs, the Chargers. Are you freaking kidding me? Only 7 of those teams are getting in. And I didn't even mention the Patriots.
I know. I know. On paper, you're exactly right.
It's good. It's good that Mac Jones is happy now, because that might not last long. At least this year when he's pissed, it won't be directed at the offensive coordinator, but he may not be very happy this year.
No, I mean, we'll see. I think the first thing is on paper, you're right. It's middle of the pack in the AFC at best, okay? In the AFC East, I mean, come on, we talked about this a lot. The Dolphins have one of the 5 best rosters in football. I think the Jets have one of the 5 best rosters in football. And, of course, the Bills are no slouch. Now, the silver lining for the Patriots is that D is good, and it should be good, and it's well coached. And it was top 10 last year, even with that shit offense. So you think now that this year,
but 3 today.
I know I'm on a roll today.
2-1.
Right, but
you got 2, I got 1.
But you would think with that offense being better this year, that'll only help the defense out too. let alone they made some additions over there. And as we know, too, and this is why football's the best. This is why football is awesome. That this is where coaching comes into play. Oh, yeah, our roster is, middle of the pack, but I came up with a game plan that it closed that gap against the number 2 team in the AFC. And here I am, and it's late in the fourth quarter, and we're up by 2 points. So I don't want to count them out by any stretch of the imagination. I think they're a good football team. But, yeah, to wonder how good, I think that's fair, and I got to see that offense in action and see where that goes before you make any bold proclamations.
Eagles at home right out of the gates. Are you kidding me? The defending NFC champions, far superior on paper to the Patriots. That's week 1. That's Tom Brady Day. The Dolphins, Sunday Night Football, week 2 in Foxborough. At the Jets, week 3. At the Cowboys, week 4.
Might be the hardest first 4 of the year.
The Saints.
Right. That might be.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
They get the Saints and Raiders that they should win both of those. They could be let's say they'll win one of those first 4 games and go 1-3, right? 3-3 when they face the Bills and Dolphins back to back. I mean, look, they got some games on there they can win. They got some games they can win. They're not going to be horrible. They do have one of the all-time great coaches. But this schedule has a far different vibe than Patriots schedules of past years because Bills, Dolphins, Jets are no longer the easy out that they once were.
No, that's right. That's right. And that's where, they're going to have to play smart football. They're going to have to do things. They were in a lot of games last year, and we saw them do unpatriot-like things to lose those games. Whether it was Mac Jones throwing interceptions against Baltimore when they kind of had control of the game, the Minnesota game on Thanksgiving where it looked like they were controlling the game a little bit, and all of a sudden it's a blown coverage, a kickoff return for a touchdown. The Bills at the end of the year, they were outplaying the Bills in Week 18. They were going to beat them if Naheem Hines doesn't return 2 kicks. So they did a lot of that, and that's where I give them a fighting chance. That Eagles game Week 1. Here's the one that it's dangerous. I mean, first off, it's Bill Belichick with a whole preseason to get ready for you.
7 months to get ready.
Exactly. And they do have a good secondary and some big people up front to where their defense, I would be shocked if they don't hang in there against Philadelphia a little bit. It's going to be about that offense and what they can do. And can they run the ball? Philly, you could run the ball a little on Philly last year. Can they do that? But, man, they got to, like you said, salvage something early in that first 4 games to where they're not so far out of it they can't get back into the race.
Eagles get to see Zeke again right out of the gates, and Zeke goes back to Dallas October 1 when the Patriots play the Cowboys there. So Patriots, they will be relevant this year. How good will they be? We'll see. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.